All right, welcome to MMA Al Dente. I'm your host, Billy V. It's my cat, Avery, just out of frame. I'm here to talk to you about UFC 269 tomorrow night. I think it's a great fucking card. I can't wait. Just got to get through one more day of everybody's bullshit, and then it's UFC time. But anyway, there are 15 fights tomorrow night. At least there were up until like an hour ago when Matt Schnell was pulled due to some medical issue. But now there are 14 fights. And of those 14 fights, 14 fighters out of the 28 fighters, in case you were fucking stupid, 14 fighters have headlined UFC events in the past. 14 of them. That's incredible. That makes this a super card. I don't want to throw that word. It's a super card, but I really think it's at least a 9 out of 10. This card, I mean, you look at like the prelims. I know this is a very high prelim but Munoz versus Cruz, that could headline a fight night. Emmett versus Ige, that could headline a fight night. Sakai versus Tuivasa, that could headline a fight night. And man, even Anders versus Muniz. Probably not going to headline a fight night, but man, that Munoz with the armbar and jacare, the technical submission, that was that caught my attention. But yeah, the whole card is stacked. I think this is going to be a great night of fights, no matter how it plays out, unless they all suck, which is a fucking impossibility. Don't hold me to that because, whatever. But I do think this is going to produce a lot of excitement, a lot of finishes. And when there's not something violent or exciting, it's still going to be something important. So now there's 14 fights. Every one of them has my attention. And I'm going to just really take this one in. Now, I think my bias here with Juliana Pena has me looking forward to her fight with Amanda Nunes more than anybody else. But I still maintain my own bias where I think everybody else is wrong. They're not seeing what I'm seeing. Not even that Juliana is going to win, which I do think. She's my pick. Like straight up, who's going to win? Gun to your head. Juliana. But I also think everybody else is wrong and they're going to be, the talk of the town will be Juliana, win or lose. I'm taking her to win, but I do think she's going to make a believer out of a lot of people. Now, when I look at the whole card, I see a lot of violence early on. Julian Robertson versus Priscilla Casuara. That's going to be a finish, I think. Tony Kelly versus Randy Costa. I can't guarantee Costa's going to be the first one to put out Tony Kelly, but I'm picking it. That's my pick. Ryan Hall versus Derrick Minner. I'm playing the under in that fight. I've got Ryan Hall via submission round 1. Matt Schnell versus Perez. Fuck, that was going to be a finish. Blanchfield versus Maverick. That's more of an interesting battle. Could be tactical, but I may not, I don't expect a finish there. Anders versus Muniz. If Anders wins, I expect a decision, even though he could get a knockout too. But I'm taking Muniz, and I'm hoping it's a submission. Bruno Silva versus Jordan Wright. That's a violent knockout one way or another, probably from Bruno Silva. Augusto Sakai versus Tai Tuivasa. It's a chance that one's not so great, but I think it'll be a decent fight. I actually expect a decision there between the two heavyweights. Pedro Munoz, Dominic Cruz. That could be a decision anyway, but that's going to be an excellent fight. There's no way that's going to be a bad fight. No way in hell. Cruz isn't holding him down. Pedro Munoz, he's a guillotine machine, great leg kicker, great striker. I see Munoz winning a decision, to be honest, but man, that's going to be a good one no matter what. I'd love to see Cruz win too, even though Munoz is my guy. Josh Emmett, Dan Ige. Have you seen them fight? That's going to be a good one. No matter what. Again, I don't think Emmett's going to put Ige out, but I think he's going to beat him around. And then the main card. Sean O'Malley versus Julian Paiva. I'm kind of favoring O'Malley via knockout. I'd love to see Paiva weather the storm, so to speak. Even though there's never really a storm with O'Malley. He's, which is a compliment. It's not like, oh, you got to get over that hump and then he's toast. But, yeah, I expect that to be a good one no matter what. Excitement. Kai Kara-France versus Cody Garbrandt. That's going to be a very exciting fight. A lot of interesting wrinkles there. Garbrandt going down. Kai Kara-France, I think he has, underrated hands. I can't say he's got underrated power, but, man, I would love to see him put Garbrandt out. And kind of expecting that, to be honest. Jeff Neal versus Ponzinibbio. There's no way that's a bad fight. No way. Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. Unless Amanda Nunes wins a boring decision, there's no way that's a bad fight. Juliana could win a boring decision. It would still be astounding. It'd be like watching Chael beat Anderson, which actually happened twice. If you don't believe me, go ask Chael. And then Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. Again, there's no way that's a bad fight. I expect a finish in one way or another. Really pulling for Charles to go through Poirier, but like everybody else, my head expects Poirier to weather the storm and get a finish via TKO, maybe even a choke. That'd be, a guillotine, really, even though Dustin Poirier, he's not Mr. Guillotine. He almost had that one on Khabib, but, man, we've seen Charles Oliveira lose. He lives and dies by the submission, kind of dies by the knockout, too. I just think Dustin Poirier, he has a better shot at this. He's got more ways to win. So, yeah, that's my breakdown of the card. I think it's a fantastic card. If I had to give it a rating overall, 9 out of 10. Enjoy. I'll digest this, and I'll get back to you on Sunday.